I don't think this has ever been done, a live, in-person, interactive podcast that we have been wanting to do for y'all. If you have listened to a R.O.A.D podcast, hands up, please, real quick. There you go, it's this whole room. And also DJ Spider of the 20, we're all DJ Spider fans, hands up as well, yes. We're gonna get right into all the hot topics in the DJ industry. Also, we are gonna focus on you and give a lot more time for an open Q&A. And just to witness a live podcast with the R.O.A.D and DJ Spider the 20 is gonna be a spectacle. So get ready and make some noise for, do I have to say all their names or do you guys know them all already? DJ Spider, DJ Crooked, Jamie the Great, DJ Never, and D Miles to the stage.
Can I get a year?
Mic check.
There we go.
All right, well, yo, I want to welcome you guys. What up? What's good? What's good? It's the R.O.A.D podcast. What up, Beat Sorcerers? Welcome to the collaboration of the R.O.A.D podcast and the 20 podcast. We may sound like podcasts talk about driving cars or, asking you 20 questions, but really, we all have a passion and love for DJing, just like you guys. So make some noise for yourself for coming out here, taking the time and coming to this amazing retreat. Thank you to Beat Source, DJ City, Vice, and everybody. And, when I first got the call to do this and collab with the R.O.A.D podcast, I was like, are these dudes just gonna roast me for like an hour up here? Like, I need to think about what I'm gonna wear, like what my hair looks like. So we'll see what happens to me. But also, hopefully I don't say any jokes that piss Quickie off and he comes up and slaps me like Will Smith or something, because you guys think he's like super nice, but we've seen some shit go down like that. All right, no, for real. Thank you guys for all the support, for the 20 podcast, for the R.O.A.D podcast, and everything over the past couple years. So excited to be here with you guys. And, let's give it up for the R.O.A.D podcast, for all they've done for DJ culture. They've been doing this a couple years longer than me. They educate us on DJs you may not know about music that we know and love. They somehow survive beef with the Beehive, with DJs against Joe Maz. They've gone to war with the entire country of Nigeria. It's all, it's been happening.
Don't forget Crooked's best friend, Wale.
Oh yeah, Wale.
Yeah.
Oh, Wale is coming for him now on Twitter. So, and then when we we were put together to collab, I thought, okay, I'm gonna call up Crooked and try to figure out how to do this collaboration, which then ended up in an hour phone call of him just yelling at me. Was not anticipating. So it was very intense.
Sounds about right.
So I don't know what's going to happen up here. But you have anything to say about that? Or he was calling me a stoned surfer on the phone. So I think we got two different personalities.
This is what you wanted to do. You wanted to come up and do like your Netflix special, your comedy special.
I'm preparing for the DJ stand-up special coming on Netflix.
He told the sound guy, he's like, I need a handheld mic so I could proproperly like walk around and
I wanted
crowd
a stool
work.
so I could have a prop, but all
this
I got
is what you
was,
wanted.
I got this fucking orange thing that you're using.
Yeah, I'm yelling at him on the phone. I'm like trying to put some structure together. I'm like, we should talk about these panels and stuff. And he's like, hey, let's just go on there and just like, talk about whatever, make fun of people.
Is that how I sound?
And I'm like, Spider, people pay good money and flew, they flew out here for this shit. And he's like, they don't care. We'll just talk about this and talk about that and whatever. And then Phenom comes up to me, like, right? Yesterday, he's like, what happened with you and Spider? And I'm like, Spider snitching to this motherfucker now.
Damn, son.
Crooked yelled at me.
I'm a one-person thing. You got four people.
We're about to jump his ass.
He's telling him I'm being a dick, so.
No, don't. Go ahead.
I mean,
finish your monologue.
Okay. All right. So, there was almost some 20 R.O.A.D beef, which we'll see how that pans out by the end of this. And that led me to remember some things that I've known Crooked a really long time, probably 15 years. Or
Plus, yeah.
I was probably playing, there was this edit you made for like the R.O.A.D when they put out those 12-inch vinyls, and they would put out like the edits.
Shout to the R.O.A.D. The R.O.A.D is like one of the first like good music parties that were started by DJs in New York. So like there would be no do-over without the R.O.A.D and all of the stuff. So, but the R.O.A.D, yeah. In
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
and they would put out DJ edits and mashups or whatever you want to call it. And you had one that was Beyonce and Jay-Z, Bonnie and Clyde over Arrested Development. But you did the intro. Like, you're like, what's up, y'all? Like you're on the intro of it. And I remember I would play that all the time. And I would listen to you, and I would play it for every crowd and listen to you doing it. And then I got to meet you eventually. But one night, drunken in Vegas or high or something, I don't know what was happening, but we decided to come up with a fake, it was at the time DJs had just started traveling, and we thought it would be funny to create a fake place called Bone Island to try to give DJs FOMO about wanting to DJ at this place.
Yeah.
And we would post fake pictures.
So like the premise is everyone's going out of town. So like if he does Stingery in San Diego, every DJ's like, I have to do Stingery in San Diego. And then like people see pictures and like, oh, he killed it. It's bananas. It's almost like now, but it was a way smaller community, like maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, we like knew every DJ.
So we were like, why don't we make up this Bone Island? Like you DJ'd Bone Island, I DJ'd Bone Island, and then we just post these fake pictures of us in Bone Island. And then everyone's like, yo, what's this Bone Island that everyone's DJing at? And then we're like, oh yeah, they pick you up in a helicopter, you know.
Damn.
And then we just tell other DJs, keep saying Bone Island is the shit, and like they're paying you like $5,000 or $10,000 a night, and it's like it's crazy, and then that was our whole thing, and everyone would be asking like, how do I get to Bone Island? How can I DJ in Bone Island? We're like, well, I don't know, man. I can't tell you.
You got to email Johnny at boneisland@gmail.
Yeah.
He might be able to get you on the list. So I don't know. I thought of that after our argument.
By the way, so he said I yelled at him like when we were on the phone. These are his notes. This is like his ideas for what to do on this podcast. Let's talk about Bone Island. And here we are talking about Bone Island.
This is what happens when two podcasts come together. It's like we're here for a school project. We've been jammed together, and this is what's going on. So
just when he's done with his monologue here, we're gonna go to like some questions. But we want to talk.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
I'm getting there.
It's taking some time.
All right. So I know we got limited time. Listen, we've been here 2 days. You guys have seen a lot. You've seen a lot of panels. You've heard a lot. I'm sure you've been inspired. And we wanted to come out here and create sort of a town hall situation where you guys can ask us questions. We have some questions that we're going to ask you. And, just you'll be part of our podcast experience. We can talk about, some of the panels, like what resonated with us. Like I missed a couple of them, but I got to see the social media one. Saw Nick Spinelli. He just kept talking about show your growth. And I was sure I'd seen that on a Pornhub ad before, just over and over. And I was like, why does he keep saying that? But that kind of stuck out in my head. But whatever you guys got out of it, you can tell us. All right, seriously though, I'm excited to be here, finally see you guys in person and talk to everybody and hear from you. So we have 4 questions that we're gonna pose to you guys. I'll let Crooked take it from here.
If we can, we're gonna. So like he said, we're gonna do a town hall. I want everyone. We want to hear from you guys. It's been 2-3 days that we've all been here. I'm sure you guys have some comments, some things you want to share, and we want to hear from you guys. As well, we have a bunch of things we want to go through about the panels and also just interacting with each other and whatnot. So I think we have Styles and Daz here with mics, so please raise your hand if you're ready to speak. We got 4 questions. One of them is what panel spoke to you the most? And I'm actually, while we're getting a mic to somebody, please raise your hand if you want to speak. What panel spoke to you the most? I'm going to actually talk to D Miles.
Yep.
And we're going to kind of go through exactly what panel spoke to us, and I want to hear from you guys. All right?
No, for me, it probably started with Lima on Check Yourself panel.
Right.
Lima is a good friend. I've known him for at least 12 years. We came up together. He was a little bit before me at Tao Group, but we spent countless nights together, and to see his progression and where he is now from where we were back in 07, 08 is just, it's a milestone. So I have the utmost respect for him. But to hear him talk about, you know, the inside chatter in your brain, right? Being able to talk to yourself a little more calmly, a little more politely. Let's not be as hard on ourselves when we think we might have a bad night, or we put ourselves in a situation where we're not drinking. We enter a room full of drunks, and we don't know what we're talking. We don't know how to approach the night in a sober state. So we feel that imbalance, or maybe we're not connected with the audience right away. That resonated with me because lately I've been trying to drink less. I still drink, but not to say drinking's bad by any means. Like, I'm not here to preach to anybody, but you know, for me, I just turned 40, so my body's changing. I'm getting older. I want to eat better. I want to do things that I haven't done in the past, right? The last 15 years of my life, I've been drinking late nights, eating horribly. So I want to change those things. So for him to say those things and really put an emphasis on eating better, not eating on flights, you know, drinking more water. And then also with Lady Shaw, she said that, you know, everything you do is a marathon. It's not necessarily a sprint. That resonated with me as well, right? Because 10 years ago, I might not have been ready for some of the opportunities I have now. And I might have convinced myself I was, but I really wasn't. And so the things that I'm doing now, I couldn't have done in 2010. But now I'm ready for it. I'm prepared for it mentally. And it's okay to understand that everything comes in due time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Anyone have a mic that's ready to say anything?
My name is Vengeance. I'm from New York, New Jersey area. The starting your own party thing really resonated with me because I recently, in November, I started my first party. And it's been going good. We've had 2 ticketed events and 3 just like house parties, or like in New York, like you were talking about in the in one of the panels, the you know, like the rooftop parties in Brooklyn and stuff like that. So
you should share your age because I was talking with you earlier. You're 20. You're like 20 years old.
Yeah, I'm 20. I'm still in college. So
You got a lot of time, man.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating to think about, like, all that time. And, you know, patience is a big thing for me when I'm 20. Like, I have a lot to go. So it's like trying to pace myself, too, with this stuff, too. So, but that party, like, panel was like, I was taking notes. I called all my partners after. I was like, yo, we got to do this. And they're like, yo, chill out, you know? Like, it's not that serious. Like, we're going to do all that. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just saying, we got to do it. So, but, yeah, that really stuck with me. And then also just sticking to your niche. And making sure you carry it with you wherever you go, but you know, also being able to adapt. So, as I do like bigger clubs and transitioning from parties to clubs, sticking with my niche, which is like underground hip hop and stuff like that, and up and coming artists. Yeah,
that's great, man. Vengeance, I'm sure we're gonna see you do a lot of great shit because you're so young. You're 20. You're already promoting. He's doing Photoshop on the side, so there's only growth from there, man. While we get to the next speaker, does anyone else want to share?
Yo, what's up, baby?
Oh, shit.
What's up, baby?
Who gave him a mic?
Again? Gave this guy the mic.
Was he just on the mic earlier, man? Please say your name and where you from.
Fashion again. Yo, I got questions for you guys. Well, first off, for the panel, when I got here, I was like, you know, the one I'm probably going to snooze on the hardest is wellness. I mean, look at me. I'm hot. I'm good. I don't need wellness.
Yeah, who needs that?
I drink like fucking gallon of Tito's a night. Anyway, that aside... no, the wellness one really hit for me. Lady Shaw really spoke to me, honestly.
Nice, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Shout out to Lady Shaw.
No, honestly, she made some points. She actually made some points, like D. Miles said, you know, like the sprint in the marathon, that what she said about that. And then also when you said, if you know you're not going to accomplish something in one day, just skip it and move on with your day and like just recharge it the next day. Like, I don't know, something about that. So that's the one that stood out to me. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
This question is geared to DJ Spider.
Okay.
Of the 4 gentlemen on stage, fuck, marry, kill.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead, baby. Wait, then that leaves one
You
out.
need 4 of them.
You need one more option. So you need fuck, marry, kill, divorce or something. Oh, mistress.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Mistress.
All right. I got it. Okay.
Side
All
bitch.
right, I'm going to fuck D. Miles, working out.
Whoa! Get up, baby. Give him around.
He just turned 40. He's thinking about what he's eating. He's got the body. He's doing it. I guess I'm going to kill Neva. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
That's all right. I'd rather be killed than fucked.
We can fuck first. Okay, and then Jamie would be a fun mistress, I guess. And
I'm a good side dude.
as much as, you know, we already had our first big argument, I think I'd have to marry Crooked. You know, he can cook, he's organized, he cares about things, we've got totally different personalities, you know, but we like the same things.
There's a compatibility there,
It's
though.
a match made in heaven, baby. that good for you?
Can we not give Fashion the mic anymore?
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
Can we have a rule like no, you don't give the mic to someone that always said something, especially
And sit them in the back also.
Is there anyone that wants to say anything?
Dive right into that.
Is there anyone else that has a mic? Yeah.
How you doing? My name is Carl from New York. Just
up?
actually had a question for you guys. Like the starting your own party panel also was one of my favorites. But one of the questions I wanted to ask the guys on stage was about like multiple DJs on bills. Like I think, especially coming out the pandemic, I feel like there's a lot of parties, at least in New York, where it's like 8 guys on a bill, and it, you know, kind of like messes with the arc of the party. I know you've had Momo on the podcast a few times, and that came up. So just wanted to hear y'all's perspectives on that specifically.
You guys want to chime in on anything?
Well, I'm from LA, bro. We switch DJs every 15 minutes, so there's 20 people on the bill. But I do feel that, well, to me, it's not a big deal. There's no ego when it comes to me. So if I could be with 4 other people on the bill, I don't really care. But it gets excessive when it's a lot, the opener, the supporting, you know what I mean, the headliner, the closer. But I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, well, what's your concern about all the DJs on there?
Like how we feel about it, or what is it?
Because I think it's something that's here to stay. Like, it's not going to change, right?
Yeah.
Because people are using the DJs for a couple of things. They want, 6 DJs on the bill because each DJ is going to promote, right, and market. So it's like lazy marketing and promotion, right? That's one. 2, every DJ on that bill is going to be prime time. They want to be a superstar, right? So that's another problem. So no one's really going to care about opening or setting the vibe for anything. They're just going to care about their recap video. They're going to have their homie with like a camera or something, and their hour is going to be prime time no matter what. So even if there's slots 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock, it's prime time, right? It's just one of the factors that we all have to deal with, and it's really what it comes down to is the people that care and the people who are good at their job and the people, you know, who know how to work with other people are going to succeed because they're going to work together to make the party dope and not only just care about themselves. And then you're going to realize the DJs that only care about themselves are going to get phased out in a couple years. And that's pretty much what it is. Because in the end, no one wants to work. Even DJs, a lot of DJs get work from other DJs, right? I co-sign one DJ, he co-signs the other. I'm not going to co-sign a DJ that doesn't care about anybody but himself or herself. And that's really what everyone needs to think about, is when you enter the DJ community and you work with other people, if you go out for self, that's only going to last you a couple years, because then you're going to need somebody to look out for you. So that's really what people need to think about. And if you look at it, I know I've seen some of these DJs that were popping maybe before the pandemic. Like, I don't see them no more. Some of them. And some of them were like, I call them me monsters, right? They me, right? So like, they're me monsters and I don't see them no more. And the people that really like survived are like people that looked out for each other. Or,
I'm gonna piggyback on what Crooked said. If you are in a situation where you're in a party with that many DJs, the only way it's gonna work is if people understand their role. And then you guys have to work as a team. Like, all 5 of us could do a party and it will work, because Spider's gonna have a role, Neva's gonna have a role, Crooked might, do his thing, Jamie's gonna hop in his bag and do his thing, I'm gonna know my role. And if you have a team with everyone that knows their role, there's nothing wrong with being the opener in that role. There's nothing wrong with being the closer or having a different bag to go to. But if everyone's out for self, it's gonna fail.
We actually did an event, right? We all had an hour slot. He had his hour slot, and when it was time for D Miles' slot, he told D Miles, like, yo, get off, I'm gonna keep DJing. You know what I'm saying? And he got on, he kept DJing, and D Miles is such a nice dude, he just was like, yeah, like,
I was like, all right, man.
He went in the corner and like sulked a little bit. You did though, right?
Because it was either soak or blow the place up. So I chose to just, I'm gonna bite my tongue and just let this dude have his moment.
So when I went over, I was like, yo, how come you're not DJing? He's like, oh shit. I mean,
Jesus, yo,
who was it?
Damn.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, y'all wanted the under the shit, huh? Go ahead.
I'll call her Crystal. Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal.
Okay, Crystal. Crystal. Yeah, I was like, yo, Crystal's DJing. Why are you DJing? It's your slot.
I don't know if that made it worse or better.
Yeah. Shut up. I fixed it. Okay.
Yeah, put a little tape. You know what I mean?
I'm like, why is Crystal DJing, D? This is your time slot. And then he was just like, man, like, I don't know. I just want to DJ. And I was just like, and I literally had to like, I went to Crystal and I was like, yo, this isn't your time slot. You got to get off. And Crystal was like,
nah.
The people want to hear me. You know, like.
They came to see me.
He's like, look at the people. She's like, look at the people. The people want me. And I was like, this chick is delusional.
Nah, hurry up.
This shorty's delusional, right? Crazy. He's definitely a shorty.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can you change the camera? Like,
can you mute this mic?
Can you go back to the flyer? So I literally took her headphones off and I pulled her off.
Yeah. Whoa.
Generously though. Generously.
Nicely. You removed her from the booth. Anyway.
Firmly but nicely.
Firmly.
And
Very
then,
stern.
And then I got D back on, but
pause.
I mean, it
happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's, you know.
For me.
And that just goes to show that's a situation where it wasn't a team effort, right? Like we weren't on the same page at all. That wouldn't happen amongst us, you know what I mean?
But the thing is, like, I don't hold anything against Crystal, right?
Yeah, no. You
Like,
and Crystal
like I'm not.
Sounds so close to real
I'm not like, yo, Crystal's not a bad woman,
She's
right?
not a bad one. That shorty's good.
Bad mama jamma.
But I was gonna add to that. Like, I just did Nova Slaps Party R&B and Ribs, and I was in the bill with Speedy Cooper.
I love the name.
R&B and Ribs.
By the way,
shout out to Nova Slaps.
Yeah, he had to leave.
Can I just say, like, I was like Nopa. I don't even know if it's still here, but
No, he bounced.
Yeah, he bounced. Oh, okay. But that is, I literally flew to San Francisco just to attend R&B and Ribs. So that party is an amazing party, and you know, me talking shit about the name and the flyer only just shows how strong that party is. That to me, it defies, you know, like what I would think would be, you know, like logical marketing or promotions. Yeah. I would be like, you know, I'd be like, no, you can't do that. But when your music and your party and your crowd is so good, it's like a unicorn, and it could defy any kind of marketing. You know, that I was trying to explain that, but it came off fucked up. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, but so that flyer had me, Speedy Cooper, DJ Ivy, and Audio One, and I think I hit up Audio One days prior. I'm like, yo, what are you gonna play if I won't play the shit you're gonna play, or how do you want to do this? It's like a team effort type of thing. So like you just have to know how to play your role at the same time, and you really can't try to be the fucking superstar. Like, why is my name bigger or smaller? Why isn't it this? I see that shit all the time. Go ahead.
That was a great story.
Great story.
As usual. Anything else anyone want to add, or anyone have a mic that they want to speak? Because we can move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, what up, y'all? Jamie Selects, represent Plural Music, Bay Area, and I live in San Diego. Thank you all for being here. So I just started a podcast of my own called The Business of DJing, where I try to help DJs grow their businesses. And I just was curious if you have any advice on growing and creating an audience for the podcast, maybe both on the technical side, things like, you know, doing the audio, I'm doing it all myself, and then also like growing the actual audience.
While you're doing a podcast, yeah, I mean, you'd be the perfect person to talk to. You do the podcast all by yourself.
I do. And it's a lot. Thankfully, I got Anthony and Flats and some other people helping me. But yeah, I do a lot of the recording and editing and all that stuff. And I actually have heard, you sent me some of the episodes, and I listened to it, and it was really good. I think you're already on the right track from what I've heard. And I think that, obviously, we talk about DJing, so sticking to a niche thing is good in podcasting because the people that are into that are going to find you. I also think what I've learned through this is the consistency sometimes helps more than the quality content. Like, I want to put out really good content, but I also noticed that once I'd been doing it for a year or 2 years, some people finally took it seriously, even though I could tell they've never listened to it before. They're like, oh, you're killing it, you're doing a podcast. But it was only just because they've seen me do it so much. So I think even if you feel discouraged or, something, you should just keep hitting it and keep, with the consistency and sticking to your topic. And I think the way you structured it, where you're educating DJs, I think it's a much needed thing. It's something we talked about, that we'll probably talk about later in this panel, but that could have been at this event more, the business stuff, because I know you talk about taxes and a lot of DJ stuff. So, hopefully that helps in some respect.
Also, what do you call it? Yeah, like what are you saying about consistency is really important. Like Road Podcast is like, I think it's our 5th year this year. And I've even had meetings with DJ City where we said this might be our final year, and like we might end it. Just because we felt like, a lot of the behind the scenes work, the audio, video, the artwork, all that was handled by me and Jamie. So it just like after 5 years, it gets repetitive and it gets draining. Do you know what I mean? So him and I were so close to the podcast. Like, when you do all the behind the scenes work and it comes to marketing and selling it, you're like exhausted. Does that make sense? I know a lot of like, everyone does like, DJs, you do your own marketing, you do like contracts by yourself, you do your own taxes. You're doing everything. By the time you have to be a showman or showwoman or like a salesman, you're like exhausted. Like even me myself, I'm exhausted. Like I don't want to market something, I put so much into an episode. I do like 6 hours of research for a guest. I organize these guys. We get recording set up. It's like we record. We go through editing process. What's the artwork going to look like? What's the title? What's the, and then by the time we have to go to social media, I'm exhausted. I'm drained out. And I'm just like, after 5 years of that, I was like, I don't know if I could do like 5 more years of this shit. And that's when I realized like I have to hire an editor. Or I need someone like Nudia, God bless Nudia, who can give me like a second ear on an episode and kind of just like edit this out, take this out. And she gives us, she's a DJ as well, but she gives us another perspective that makes it fresh. So just remember when you're on this road, you have to collab with people and you have to trust people and you have to let go. Even me, myself, I have to do that. I have to let go. The editing process, all just conditioning everything, you have to let it go. And now I'm in a different place. I have a new editor. Shout out to Alex. He's been doing a great job with our video clips, right? And this is how exhausted we were, like, literally, before March, we had no video clips on social media. So for 6 months, we had no video clips on Instagram, Twitter, or anything. And as soon as I got an editor and we started getting video clips on Reels, Instagram, and like TikTok, our numbers quadrupled. And then all of a sudden, like we're getting reactions and people are hitting me up again. So it's really important that you delegate and you let go of certain things. Because I'm in a better place now where I can concentrate on where the podcast is going. And we had opportunities on the table where I had dispensaries talking to me like, hey, we want to sponsor you guys. And I'm just so busy doing 8,000 tasks that I can't put a deck or a price sheet together for a dispensary that wants to give me thousands of dollars. That's crazy, right? But that's how exhausted I was. And then, there's so many other opportunities that I want to table, but I'm so focused on doing these tasks, and you just get caught up in like that whole, I don't know.
And the piggyback, this is not Crooked's only thing. He's still a full-time DJ. He still does consulting. He still does, design stuff for clothing. So it's like, imagine having all that plus this part that's taking up half his day or whatever, right? We still have meetings. We still have, collabs. We still have parties. We still have all these things that are like on top of recording, right? Like our schedules are all crazy. Like we all DJ, we all travel. So we have limited time in every week to really get together and record and get everything done, usually on like a Sunday or a Monday, right? The rest of the week, Jamie and Crooked are busy editing and putting stuff together on top of their own their own DJ schedules, right? So you're a working DJ yourself doing that podcast, right? You have to put all those things into consideration. And it's okay to delegate, like you said. It's okay to just kind of like let go, but it has to be someone that you trust and has the same interest as you, because if they don't, it's not going to work.
Yeah, just think of everything in a 5-year span. Do you want to do this in 5 years,
Also, I think for your podcast specifically, seasons could work, you know, like I kind of wish I had thought of that before, but you could do it per season, and your thing is so specific to the different parts of the business that you could split it up into like this season we're focused on running your own corporation for a DJ, and here's all the different things you need, and each episode breaks it down, and then you could give yourself a break and not get so burnt out, because I feel you on that.
Yeah, it's tough for you, man. I wanted to add to that. One thing that I learned from Crooked early on when we first started doing the podcast was always try to, make the podcast better as you go. So in the beginning, we just started with literally just audio and a cover, and we would post that. And then he's like, yo, we got to do videos. Then we started doing videos. And then he's like, we got to put the video on the YouTube. So we started doing that. And then, we got to do an audio snippet, and we have to do this. And it's always trying to grow it. Don't ever try to limit yourself with just being like, just put the audio out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole ass process that goes, like, on the weekly basis for us. Now we have Alex and we have Nudia, but before it was just me and this guy. Literally fighting about a title till 4 a.m. some days, trying to figure out, is this good enough? Is this not? Should we take this out? So it's a whole process, but you just always want to just keep making it better as you go. And don't be afraid of just being like, I can live without this part, or this needs to go out. Maybe I shouldn't talk about the taxes now, maybe closer to tax season. You know what I mean? So it's always just try to make that shit just grow and grow and grow, and don't ever just limit yourself about it. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I want to talk to you guys, too, about your experience here in the retreat. So please, I got a question for you guys, because I know the panels were great, and please add about the panels, but I really saw a lot of interactions, a lot of meaningful interactions, a lot of great interacting. Everyone's linking up, connecting, politicking out here. And so if you guys have any comments of it, like any like meaningful interactions that you experienced here on the retreat, please share with us on the mic. And if whoever has a mic, you ready?
Yo, it's good. It's DJ Cass, Miami.
What up?
They counting the building. First of all, thank everybody here, all the DJs, everybody that's involved. Thank you guys. This is a community. I'm always very, very tight about this. Like, we take care of each other. Like, we do this for each other. I put out a lot of shit for all of us. My experiences, all of our experiences. So thank you to everybody that's here and everybody on the panel. My question is, as time, our job is an evolving job. Our job technically didn't exist 20 years ago. Now you have DJs that are brand reps, that are working with companies, that are doing, commercials and so on. What do you guys see, like, the DJ culture going for the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to the DJs that are past the club and are now, a Bacardi rep, or doing this and are working that kind of angle, and on the corporate side as well?
I mean, I see, just from doing the podcast, I've learned so much about all the different aspects of DJing and ways you can make money and doing stuff. You know what I mean? So I've interviewed all these, DJs for sports teams and DJs that are making a living in different lanes. And I guess when I was coming up, it was like, you either do this or that. There wasn't that many options. So I feel like it's splintering off for where DJs are able to make money in a lot of different ways, and now we have Twitch and we have all these things. So I think it'll continue to grow as an industry, and doing things like this where we all come together and help each other, teach each other what we've learned and how to build and stuff like that. So I just see it continuously growing into different, areas of being able to make money off DJing or music.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at D-Nice. You guys had D-Nice here yesterday, right? And what I loved about him was that he was able to, like, prioritize the integrity of his brand over corporate sponsorship or money, which I've really never heard of before. So when I heard, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wants a corporate sponsor.
I would have taken that Wingstop deal for sure.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I know a lot of DJs.
Good to know.
A lot of DJs, that's their goal, to get that sponsorship.
I mean, if Wingstop came to you to eat some wings and wear a Wingstop T-shirt, what would you do on your Twitch?
I have to think about that. I'm not going to even lie. If the bag is big.
I'm pretty sure Jazzy Jeff's stream was sponsored by Wingstop.
Yeah. Was he wearing the Wingstop tee?
I don't know about that, but
was he eating wings?
He kept talking about it, and they had the stuff on the screen.
That's funny. So they went to D-Nice, and then they went to let's get Jazzy Jeff.
He wasn't like on the screen.
Jeff is like, fuck it.
Bad, but bad meaning good. Just like eating the drumstick, doing it with the routine.
Was he eating on camera?
No,
What was that?
I missed that part.
Yo, pause
He's
on
like,
that.
Lemon
boneless.
pepper.
Anyone else? Do me a favor. If you have the mic and you're ready to say something, just stand up so I know that someone's ready to speak.
Yeah.
You want to repeat your question though?
Oh, we're getting the wrap it up B symbol.
Repeat the question.
The light
Repeat
came on.
the question?
Wrap it.
Oh, did you guys have any meaningful interactions while you guys have been out here?
Here we go.
All right. What's going on, y'all? This is Rican from Indianapolis. Actually, I wanted to find out on the show of hands how many people came for 2019's Beyond the Music Retreat. Okay. So I was also here as well. And beforehand, I just came to absorb things like a sponge. You know, I wanted to learn new ideas with social media, parties, everything like that. On my notes, I even got it labeled 2019. So now coming here, especially after COVID, one of the clubs out in Indy is like the premier bottle service spot that I had connections with. And fortunately, I've been able to run now a monthly party for Latin night there. And, you know, through everything that I've learned through here, the connections that I met, people that I met through the first one, and including now networking here, I feel like these panels now make sense, and it's just reiteration of, for instance, the check yourself. That one's always hit home because it's like you deal with the stress of the marketing, you know, booking the talent and all this stuff, and there's things underlying, and like you have to kind of push things to the side of whatever is happening personal to still uplift the party, to put that first because, you know, you're trying to put on for the city and whatnot. Another one with the with starting the party is like realizing I had to learn. It started with I had to hire people to help with marketing and promoting and stuff. I had to find out how to be a boss, to realize, you know, the team that was put together is not working. And before the ship sinks, you have to find the new crew. You have to find new people to go on and stuff like that. So in the matter of 3 years, things have like changed tremendously. I wanted to go back to the check yourself part. That one part that resonated with me was that was brought up was like about anxiety, and we chopped it up a bit at the pool because I'm married and I have 2 kids. So on top of having a family, you know, we're living the life of the DJ part, and it's like you want to make sure that everything's cool at home and also when, you know, you're working out. So I was like, what do you do when you're in relationships and it's like the anxiety that comes, like if they are all up on you and stuff, and we talked about like how to communicate. And,
Wait,
you know,
I don't mean to cut you off. What's the anxiety you feel?
No, so it's like it's not exactly me. It's how I control, you know, making sure hey everything's cool at home, or like she gets. My wife has that higher anxiety, right? So it's always like,
so she's giving you she has anxiety.
So it brings it over here.
And she's
it's
giving
like,
it you.
Right, let's keep it cool. Yeah. I mean, that's life, right? Yeah. So, you know, I was just trying to, you know, as the more successful people that are out, it's like, you know, how do you deal with that? How do you build the reassurance and the communication and stuff like that? And, you know, we chopped it up a bit and got some pointers out of it. And it's like, it's reassuring, you know, because we all live normal lives day to day kind of thing. And coming to things like this, it's like, you just learn as you grow, not just on the business side of stuff, but there's some personal stuff you got to take care of. So, but anyway, greatly appreciate y'all taking your times out too, coming out. But just wanted to share a bit and look forward to the next one.
Yeah, that's great.
Appreciate that.
You know, actually, what I noticed, and it's like a lot of you, everyone, you know, a majority of everyone is so hard on themselves. You know, we've been doing live interviews kind of when we were hanging out and stuff, and we have this one question, right?
Yeah.
What was the question?
What would you tell your younger self how to get what was the question?
I got it.
Jamie has it better.
I got you. It's what advice would you give your younger self as a DJ?
Yeah, and then it literally, I saw everyone just had this like just weight just went on their shoulders, and they had all this regret. You know, there was so much regret. You know, I would have told my younger self this and this and that. And I think you had like a crazy, well, not crazy, but it was an emotional experience.
Yeah, I asked, shout out to, I met one of my favorite street Twitch DJs, Don Pebillon, And I answered that question, and she got kind of emotional. And then I started thinking about the question, and I started to get emotional. And I realized, damn, sometimes I'm really hard on myself when it comes to DJing. Like sometimes I have a bad night, and I'll just leave the venue with my head down, and I'm wondering what the fuck I fucked up. And I realized I shouldn't be so hard on myself. And thanks to Jamie kind of like, of all people, Jamie.
Me.
Kind of cheered me up a little bit. He was just like, yeah, man.
Yeah, because he kind of like, I've DJed with Neva a lot or hung out with him a lot, and every night he kills it. Like he does a great job in my eyes, and I always learn some shit from Neva. But if we're walking to the car or whatever, we're driving home, he's always like, man, I fucked up here, I fucked up there. And I'm like, dude, that sounded amazing. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. The crowd reacted great, but he's just so hard on himself where he thinks he probably, he did 25% good.
I just think I could do better
throughout the whole night.
Which is crazy.
But he really did like a 95 out of 100. But he just looks at the bad stuff so much, and he makes it bigger and bigger and bigger. Pause. He makes it bigger, bigger, bigger. What was I saying? He makes it bigger than what it is. Like he really kills himself for a bad 2-minute mix where he had 3 hours of nothing but greatness. You know what I mean? I always tell him, yo, let that shit go. You know what I mean? Like you are great. You've been doing this shit for 20 plus years. There's a reason why they call you back. So I always try to, push him to just feel more positive about himself than just the negative about shit.
It's tough because when you really, really, really care about something with a passion, and I'm sure everyone in this room can vouch for that, like as musicians, as DJs, as production, people that do production, when you care, like you give your all, your blood, sweat, and tears. Like I used to watch Kobe, he would have 40 and he'd be like, yeah, but I could have did this better. And I'm like, what? You just dropped 40. Like you was amazing, right? It's the same for us. Like we could have amazing nights, but we want to be perfectionists or close to it as possible. And we're going to remember that one thing that didn't maybe go right, or maybe that one song that cleared the dance floor for a minute and we have to bring it back. And so those are the things that stick in your head, right? Like you have all these amazing moments, but those little moments are what kind of like push you back a little bit and make you go back to the drawing board and like, damn, I could really do this better.
You keep thinking about it.
Yeah.
It like kind of fucks your head up.
And I go to bed with that stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? And it's not, I'm trying to be better, but at the same time, we're human, right? We mess up, and you can't wait to get back into the club to like almost like do it again, so you can prove that you
kind of redeem yourself from the night before.
We recently had a podcast where we were sharing, and I keep thinking about this. That I recently been working with a therapist like for the past year or so, and she said like your biggest strength is also your biggest weakness, right? So my biggest strength would be like an analytical mind. A lot of DJs have an analytical mind, right? We analyze, we observe, we organize, right? We're setting up, we're curating music. But in that analytical mind, we're looking and we're spotting all the problems, all the mess ups and everything. So it's like, it's helping us perfect our craft, right? We become perfectionists, but then we're using that strength and that skill like in other areas that we shouldn't be. Like I'm overanalyzing people now, I'm overanalyzing myself. So now my strength that's helped me become a great DJ is weakening me because I'm losing confidence because I'm over-critiquing my own self, or I'm being harder on even my peers, right? Because I'm expecting my peers or the people I work with to be perfect. So now my strength of being like an analytical mind is hindering me. So like you got to remember like to control that and to like bring it back. And then also I just think a lot of you guys want to expedite the process. And you can never expedite the process. Things happen when they happen. That's it. Every time I talk to a DJ in their 20s, they're like, yo, I want this, I want that. And I always tell them, all you DJs are going to pop in your 30s. It always happens. It always happens. It's going to happen in your 30s. They expedite it. They try to expedite it. They do all these things. 5-6 years later, they're in their 30s. They come to me like, yo, you were absolutely right. Like things happened when it needed to happen and when I was ready. And every time I tried to expedite the process or if I tried to find a shortcut, I ended up like getting pushed back maybe a little bit more, or I learned a lesson and whatever, it didn't work out. But like, I think you have to accept the process and just know like what Lima was saying, those uncomfortable feelings, you just have to kind of sit with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just and get comfortable in those uncomfortable feelings, so that like you learn how to control it.
Yeah. It's just temporary.
Yeah, because when you use substances to like numb that uncomfortableness, you rely on the substance. But if you sit in the uncomfortableness, you become comfortable with it, and then you know how to tackle it without all these substances or whatever. But any other questions?
Right
or
here.
statements?
Right there.
Go ahead.
My name's Hoppa Boy from Hawaii. I just wanted to go back on Crooked. You kind of asked about interactions, and being from Hawaii, it's tough to network and meet other DJs being stuck on an island far in the ocean over there. So the only time I get to is when guest DJs come down or when I travel. I do international gigs, so Japan, and I've been to Dubai and Saipan and stuff, so I make those interactions there while I'm there, but doing something like this, which I registered for as soon as it got mentioned, I missed it in 2019, but as soon as it got mentioned for this one, I jumped it. I took the leap. I was hoping, praying the flights weren't too expensive, but damn, man. But
I feel you.
Bit the bullet, and the value to me, which is the greatest. I mean, of course, the panels, thank you so much. Y'all killed it, and I gained something from each one, I promise. It was so valuable. But the most value is talking and meeting you guys and networking and trying to get people who hasn't been to Hawaii yet to come down and experience it. I want to share that hospitality. I want to get to network with everybody as well. So, getting to interact and meet all these cool DJs and their new styles and all that, I mean, that's what means a lot to me. So I thank you guys, and aloha.
Aloha.
Check. All right, Nick Davis, Kansas City. So interactions. I love the party panel, first of all, but after the panel was over, I talked to Jerome Baker III. He got in my ass.
Pause.
Pause. My bad.
Hey, yo.
My bad.
Styles, get the mic.
This is not that type of podcast.
My bad. No.
Where's Jerome?
My bad, Jerome. But no, seriously, like on a true note, that was fucking hilarious.
What an interaction that was.
Deep into it.
But no, for real, on a true note, he told me everything that I was fucking up on. Because for me, my party was super dope, and I loved it for just the party aspect. But I didn't realize there were a lot of business things that I wasn't doing. And to me, I was kind of like, I thought about it, but I never said, okay, I should do this, because I was having so much fucking fun doing the party that I wasn't thinking about, all right, what benefits am I providing to this bar, to this venue? How can I get more out of this? Because that's what I wanted. I know I'm at a place where the party is dope, but I need to take it to the next level. And you can be a dope DJ, but if you're not figuring out how much money the bar is making, if you're not, getting cuts of that, if you're not knowing your worth, your value, then you're screwing yourself. Pause. Is that a pause?
Light.
Okay, light pause.
Not
My
really.
bad. But so like, shout out to him. We talked for like 30 minutes, and he told me everything that I didn't know, and he really pushed me to like figure some stuff out. So as soon as I left, I was like texting GMs like, yo, I need this, I need that. When I get back to KC tomorrow, it's gonna be, yo, I need this, I need that. This has got to change, that's got to change. So like, seriously, like that alone, everything was great, everything's been amazing, but like that interaction alone, that 45 minutes that we talked, that alone made this entire week worth it. Like just that alone. So amazing. Shout out to you for real. Like big shout out.
Amazing.
Check. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
So I think we're gonna move, just to keep things moving. We've been talking about all of the amazing panels that have been here and everything we got out of all of it and all the stuff. But we were looking ahead to next year, and hopefully we'll all be here together again next year, and wondering if there were any things that you guys thought could have been addressed that weren't. So was there anything that wasn't addressed at this retreat that you would have liked to see, or that we could see next year?
I'd like to hear from like a woman DJ if possible, because what I was speaking with people, and I don't think there was a fair amount of women being represented, women DJs and stuff, and I would love to hear from a woman if possible, especially what was missing from here, because the DJ City and Beat Source people that put this together with Vice, they want to improve this, and they're open to the criticism. They want to make this better, you know. So, yeah, be nice. Yeah.
Seth Styles.
Do we have someone ready? Yes,
so,
right here.
Right here.
All right, everybody. It's DJ Carrie Beats from Houston, Texas. Really happy to be here. So it's the question, what can we do for next year? Or
I mean, what do you think was missing, or, you know?
yeah, so I think something that was missing this year was more of the, and maybe it's not the right platform, but there's so much to talk about. We're all self-employed, so the business aspect of it, making money, you know, monetizing your social platforms, you know, the making money part of it. And also, I think as DJs, I'm also an engineer, you know, I have a very analytical mind for sure. How do we maximize all the money that we're getting? You know, how do we expand, you know, our careers with the money that we're getting, new gear, I don't know, new skills, you know, that growth part, I think, from the financial side and self-employed.
It's funny because we're talking this in the back in our meeting, and we're like, yo, what was missing for you? What was missing for you? And my main thing was, yo, they should have had a financial panel, because, yeah, like me coming up, luckily I have Crook, where I ask him 120 questions about money, negotiations, whatever I need to ask them. Not everybody has a Cricket to ask those type of questions, but I was just like, yo, I would have loved to hear from other people about that. It's funny, the gentleman in the back does have that podcast about taxes and stuff, but yeah, that's the one thing I also agree. There should have been, you know, like when the NBA players go into the league, they just blow their money on shoes, jewelry, cars, or whatever. But now you have like a Jay-Z with the Rock Nation, where they kind of guide them financially and how to invest, how to save money. And we don't have that as DJs. And I thought that would have been a great panel. So I do agree with you. That's something that should be in the next one, if possible.
To piggyback on what Jamie said, you know, DJing as a career is still relatively a new thing. It's a new industry, right? Like in the 70s, there was no such thing. There was, you know, it really didn't pop off as traveling DJs, as working DJs till maybe the late 90s, early 2000s. So I think there's so many things we can improve. And you're right, like financial literacy, learning how to invest money. When I first started, like I was so happy to have a seat at the table that I wasn't necessarily concerned with my finances, right? I was happy to DJ and just be in those big rooms and DJing and opening for the Vices and the Crookeds. And, you know, you kind of like get caught up in that, but as you continue to grow and you start looking at those things that are going to help you financially, you know, create your path, right? You might have other interests, and that DJing money can finance that. Mm-hmm. So had I known these things in my early 20s, I'd probably be way better off now, right? I'm still learning. I'm still in the process of learning. I'm still in the process of learning how to invest, all these things. There's no right or wrong answer, but definitely a panel would help, right? For that kind of thing.
Can I jump on? When I first moved to Vegas, pause. When I first moved to Las Vegas to DJ, I was making a shitload of money.
Jesus,
and,
relax.
And nobody was telling me how to.
Now I got nothing.
Now I got shit. No,
I'm like MC Hammer.
Shout out to Eddie Mack in the building.
Can't touch this. So I was spending money on jewelry, clothes. There was nobody to tell me to chill with my money to invest. And yeah, I just spent all my money. Cookie can tell you, I was coming back to New York.
Every time I saw him, he had like a new watch or a new chain. Like he had a platinum chain. Yeah.
He had an iced out dog chain, by the way.
Yeah, but I wish there was something like this back in 2003, especially with a panel talking about how to invest your money and save it. So that's a good thing about this retreat. I mean, for a DJ retreat.
But also in the meantime, if you have questions, you know, you gotta like reach out to the DJs out here. Yeah, because and that's the great thing about this, right? Is that if Beyond the Music doesn't have a panel, or I think a workshop might be better than a panel, where it's more of a workshop where it's off to the side, and you know, because not everybody wants to hear about financial shit for like an hour. So like a workshop where it's more one-on-one. And you know, like maybe it's limited to like 10 to 15 people with one person who specifically helps you with whatever financial questions or monetizing questions that you have. That might be great, you know, in the off hours or whatever. But that's what's great about this is that you can literally reach out and talk to all these DJs from anywhere on the panelists or anyone, speak to someone, and you speak to 3 DJs, you're going to get to the right DJ who can help you with all of that shit. And that's what's really great about this and the interactions. Even I was speaking with you guys. Is Cricket still here? Or did she leave?
DJ Cricket.
So like DJ Cricket had a question, or she said like, I want to start a party, in Vegas. I can't find the right people. And I was thinking about it all night because Cricket is such a great DJ, and she's so personable, and I love her energy. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I've always wanted to start a party, and then, but, like I don't have her energy, you know what I mean? I can't go in the middle of a dance floor and get people to dance, and I'm not gonna greet people and hug them and just like make them feel welcome, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that energy.
Yeah, we know that.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, yo, like I should talk to her because maybe we could work together. And then I would have never thought to do that. And I was talking with these fellas up here, like, yeah, maybe I'll work with Cricket. We'll put something together, and maybe I can work behind the scenes, or we can see what can be done. But if it wasn't for this retreat or anything, that I would have never, even considered that. And I've been thinking of like doing my own party for 20 years, and I've never pulled the trigger. And this may be the first time where I actually somewhat considered it, But that's what's great about this. Anyone else want to speak?
What's going on, fellas? DJ Moonrock from Los Angeles. I just had a question because there was a panel about building, your social media, and then there was also a panel with the bookers. And one of the questions I had was how much weight, in you guys' experience with those bookers, are they putting on social media? Like, is it they're looking at your following, they're saying, oh, you only got like 2,000, 3,000 followers, we're not going to book him. Or they have a certain, this person has 100,000 followers, like, let's book them. How much weight, with you guys' experience, does that play a factor?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of older and old school, so like we have some relationships from pre-social media in a way where like I think that leads to some bookings and everybody is in a different place in their career and the timeline and the way they're going to get to it on their path. But nowadays, I do think social media does play a big part of it. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at it. I don't know, but I try to stay active on there and do everything I can do, to remain relevant, but stay genuine and have fun on there. And I assume they're looking at it. Yeah, I think.
Well, you got 2 DJs, actually 3 DJs up here who have very modest followings. We're not in like, the tens of thousands. D-Miles, how many followers do you have?
I think I'm right at like 10,000.
You're at 10,000?
Yeah.
I think you're at 7,000.
Maybe.
Yeah. So,
Jesus. Damn.
How many followers do you have?
3,000.
I probably have like around 4,400.
4,400. Yeah. How often are you guys working in Vegas?
All the time.
Yeah, so,
it's a lot of relationships.
It's a lot of relationships.
It's a lot of going out, too. One thing I learned from Crook was you got to go out, you got to show face, you got to network.
Yeah.
You got to support other people. If you want to go DJ in a venue, you have to go support the venue. Like, who are you not to support something you want to be a part of? So that's better than social media to me, to be honest with you.
What kind of DJ do you want to be? That's the question. Do you want to be Diplo? You tell me what kind of DJ you want to be, and who are you looking at that you want to model your career after? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you. I mean, I'm in my 40s. He's in his 50s. He just turned 40. How old are you? 31. So I'm just saying, everything you want is going to take time to build. And you just know it's got to take time to build. When I was your age, I was the same way. I wanted my name on a billboard. I just moved to Vegas from New York. And I was in New York. I'm like, I can't make more than $800 or $1,000 in New York. So I'm going to go to Vegas and see what happens, And then when I went to Vegas, my rate went down and I had to work it back up again. So it's just like, what do you want to build? It's going to take time. Give yourself time. Give yourself 5 to 10 years, but have a plan. Don't just look at other motherfuckers and be like, yo, he's killing it. Like, I can't make it to there. Well, it's going to take time. So what kind of DJ do you want to be? What steps are you doing or taking to get there? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry if I'm talking aggressive to you.
No, it's I was just thinking that, like, damn, Crooked,
I'm like, yo, he gotta
take it
calm
easy
down.
on him, man. Shit.
Put some autotune in his voice.
But just
Calm
to
down, man.
just to compound
You know,
on what
like
Crooked was
I
saying,
got that
man.
I got that real like uptown New York, like
Harlem
the
shit.
angry coach shit. You know that I
You're
do
about
to
to jump
people.
off the stage.
I need to stop that. I'm
What you
sorry.
want to do in life?
What kind of DJ do you want to be? That's how I should have
Dead
said
ass
it.
Pete. Know what I mean?
But just
Nah,
to
go ahead.
just
Go
to
ahead,
compound on what Crooked was saying, sometimes it's the quality of followers as well, because you could have 15, 20,000 followers and it means nothing. But let's say if you have 5 to 10, and out of that 5 to 10, a lot of it is GMs or managers or people that really are invested in nightlife, and you have relationships with those people, or you go out and make those relationships and they're following you and they see your progression. That's a positive, right? Even if you have a limited amount of followers, sometimes it's the impact of the followers you do have. So for us, starting out, right? A lot of the things that we were talking about really impacted the nightlife in Las Vegas, even though our following wasn't huge to start off. You know, like talking about like in Las Vegas nightlife, some of the things we talked about, you would see it implemented in the nightclubs, from you know, selection of openers, maybe DJs doing the whole night. A lot of those things we started seeing happening based off of the quality of followers we had and the people that were actually listening to us. So sometimes it's not even an amount. Sometimes the amount of followers isn't as big as a deal as you think. Sometimes it's the quality. And this is coming from someone that has about 7,000 followers. I'm not a big, you know what I mean? So
7 to 10.
He even tried to inflate his numbers. He said I got 10,000. He got 7,000.
Quit trying to fake it till you make it, buddy.
I think it helps, but I don't think it's the end all be all. And I think it depends who it is. Like Nick Spinelli was saying, he gets so many gigs from it. In a way, social media is your resume now. And if you can do a good job of making these videos or pictures or something that portrays what you do genuinely and cleanly, and people can see that, it definitely will help lead to stuff.
Yeah, there's not one way to do anything, you know? Like, there's tons of people who, like, I do fashion and I'm in design. There's so many intelligent... Huh?
You say you do fashion.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Good one, Bella Fiasco. Don't give fashion the mic, though.
Hey, yo.
Let's move on. Let's go. I don't want to talk.
Check. What up?
Oh, shit. Zimmy to my left.
Zimmy from Pittsburgh. So bouncing back one step, yesterday Neva interviewed me and asked me the what advice would I give myself when I was younger question. When we had a whole conversation about buying stupid shit when we were making tons of cash and whatever. D-Nice referenced Chris Lighty. Chris Lighty's famous advice to all of his artists on Violator, whatever was, be financially stable, because you're gonna have a longer career if you're operating from a place of stability versus being a dope artist operating from a place of desperation. They talked about inspiration versus desperation, okay? When I was killing in the clubs in the 2000s and making all kinds of money, Cheesecake Factory, movies, shoes, I don't know where all the money went. I have no clue.
You lost money at Cheesecake Factory?
Bro.
You know he
ordered everything on that menu, the whole thing, front to back.
I tried to buy
all
the
the
Cheesecake Factory.
cakes.
So, also, I'm calling bullshit on Crooked, because when I did the R.O.A.D podcast like 5 years ago, I tried to get him to start a party, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to totally do that, and it's literally been like 5 years. So, anyways, the point is,
I'm thinking what kind of money you had when you bragging about Cheesecake Factory. Like,
Pittsburgh money and Las Vegas money are not the
It's
same money, so
Pittsburgh.
like strawberry lemonade, whatever.
Endless Permanti, bro.
Yo, so, and I'm at the point in my career, and a lot of us older cats here have been talking about like where we're at in our career, and we're doing different shit. I'm at a point in my career where it's lovely because I don't have to take every gig, not because when I take a gig I'm making $20,000, but because I have money coming in 20 different ways. So when I'm asleep, I'm
Damn,
making
son.
money, OnlyFans, like, other income streams, real estate, shit like that. Because the reality is, if there's 200 cats in this room, if we have a 20-year reunion from right now, some of y'all won't be here as DJs. 10 years later, you guys like, it's not for me. And part of that is you got to pay bills. And you were talking about money on the Start Your Own Party and the promoters and all that shit. You got to pay bills. So if you don't want to do that gig and they got $100 and it's trash money and you need $100, you're going to be at that gig clowning yourself. So the greatest advice I always give DJs, and I think that was a really good point, and the financial question, thank you for bringing that up, is you making sure your money is right and your business is right now, it might even be more important than you making sure your DJ shit is right. Because you could play yourself if you're broke. Like if you got to take those gigs. So you got a day job, keep it, invest your money, save your money, figure out your taxes, get an accountant, don't get fucked up with the IRS. That shit, that'll give you a career. You could take 1 gig a month for the rest of your life and be, you know, Fat Boy Slim, instead of like, yo, I got to play 5 times a week for $100. Because the young cat will take that gig for free. So you want to make $100 or whatever.
What was your question?
It was good.
It was a statement.
He just wanted
Amen.
to talk his shit.
Oh,
and
you want
just,
to talk shit? Oh, I was waiting for the question the whole time. I'm like, let me listen.
Yo, can we get a mic to? Can I hear from another woman DJ?
I'm here.
Wait, that's a woman DJ?
Yes.
Is it?
Danny West, DJ City, Beat Source.
Oh my God.
He's about to sing Careless Whisper on the mic right here.
I do not identify as a man. I'm non-binary. So, anyways, I guess you guys asked earlier what I wish they would focus on or something that we should look into for the next year. And I think one thing that we're missing on this retreat was being okay, not being the superstar DJ, not being the Vegas DJ, and giving props to the wedding DJs. You know, someone said earlier, they're like, oh shit, the wedding DJ shit, like that. I don't like to do that, but there's an art to that, and it's okay to be a wedding DJ. And like we got the squad from La Force from Dallas, and I know those motherfuckers are killing it. And it's okay to not want to be the Vegas DJ. For me, myself, that's never been my goal. And I think that's something that we should focus on in regards to the everyday DJ. You can make a great living and be respected and be respectful to everyone around you and all that stuff. And, you know, like, shout out to all my team from Texas that they came out here. But, like, we got some real killers in Dallas, Texas, Dallas-Fort Worth. And sometimes they don't get their notoriety or they're not going to get their shine. You know, we did the South by Southwest thing, and you know, I put them on the lineup.
Yeah.
And you guys seen them. I mean, there's a lot of good DJs out there, and it's okay not to be the Vegas guy. And don't ever undercut yourself and show your value, understand your value that you can still do this as a DJ and be happy for yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree totally. And like I said before, there's so many different lanes at this point of people that just are sports DJing, events DJing, and like a lot of the stuff that I do, you know, I have my like hand in a bunch of different kind of pots, but the events are big for me, you know, so like I try to focus on that kind of stuff, and I'm happier doing some of those gigs. And if I can get a dope Vegas gig, I'll do it. But yeah, I agree with, you know, what you said, like, don't try to be someone else. Like, all the comparison is really what will slow you down and bring you down and have you overthinking and doubting yourself, rather than looking at your own accomplishments and actually looking at your own wants and goals and just attacking that.
Yeah, actually, someone came up to me and they were asking me about, you know, how to start a side business or how to invest in like a side, or how to, you know, create a side business while you're DJing. You know, like having passive income. And these are all great things that, you know, everyone's been adding about. Is there anyone else?
Hey.
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 So I go by the name DJ Eminem. I'm originally from Georgia, but I live in Denver, Colorado now.
Wow.
I've been there 4.5 years. And really, I just want to give feedback and make statements. This has been invaluable, the amount of information I've taken in, these amazing DJs, just being in the music environment, especially after what we've been through with the pandemic. It's awesome. Like, I feel like I'm a brand new DJ again, and I've been playing for 11 years now. So. Something I want to say is that going from Georgia to Denver has been a really big culture shock, I guess you could say. It's real different from the music, from how the DJs there are comfortable with what they do. Like, you know, they already have the city on lock in a certain way. So sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not really trying to step on toes. What other avenues do I have as far as like online presence or just starting my own party or finding the people that would come out to my own party, because I might start a party, but they're like, who are you? So something I would love to see in the future, if it's appropriate. I'm kind of a nerd. I'm a big nerd, actually. I would love to learn about NFTs, Web3, the metaverse. Like, what about those DJs that want to focus on the online presence or just want to travel and do big gigs elsewhere, and they might not be the biggest DJ in their city? Like, could we make that possible? Like, bring in someone that has a song. Like, can you take a remix or a song and sell it as an NFT? Like, I'm curious about those type of things. Like,
Interesting. Well, you had Randy up here, right?
Yeah.
That's his whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, he literally has a group made out of the Bored Apes, right? Like the two Bored Ape NFTs are the DJs and remixers, and I think he manages them.
I know nothing about NFTs, so I'm the wrong person to talk about. But
I
Styles
do-
was just up here too.
Oh, yeah.
Styles knows everything about NFTs.
And that would be good, and the whole metaverse thing. I think Twitch is almost the introduction to DJs being in the metaverse, where that's what, just us DJing in that, and then if it does expand to the whole virtual reality or 3D things and all that.
I have a question though. How long have you been in Denver? 4.5 years. How's it going?
it's cool. It goes up and down. Like, this year has been really busy for me. I've DJed damn near every weekend since February. I've actively, taken weekends off. So, I try to take a weekend off per month just so I can have that reset for myself.
Oh, wow.
It's been great. I really can't complain, but just once again, all this information I've taken in these past couple of days, I realized that I just got comfortable as far as playing what I'm being booked for versus playing what I want to play, or creating that outlet to get what I want to play out the way. So normally I would do a gym mix or something and just put it in Dropbox or send it to a couple friends, or I'll put it on SoundCloud, but I wouldn't really push it super hard because I'm still trying to figure out what is Denver looking for from someone new, because they already have their set DJs for certain things. So it's how do I get people to be open to something different that they might not have heard before? Because there are a lot of layers to DJ Eminem.
I think whatever everybody is different. I think everybody does play that game of well, it's already there. But it's how many pizza shops are in every single city? Everybody, there's a million of them. They're all doing it their own way. And your party is going to be different. Each one of you are unique and special in your own way and bringing something to the table. And it's kind of the imposter syndrome thing that Bella was talking about. I think people are oh, I got to do this or I got to imitate that. But I think if you do start your own party, you might be surprised at the reaction, and you could put videos out there and put things out there of the stuff that you like, genuinely, and see what that attracts. Because I wouldn't just look at other stuff and go, oh, it's already there. Just go and do it. That's how everything else started.
Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that.
Thank you for letting me talk.
Hola, hola, hola. I'm Vlad. I'm from Colombia. Being a kid coming from South America, and getting the chance to meet so many DJs that I look up to and that I've been following since 10, 15 years ago, that I've been watching on YouTube, Mojax, and people kids, been seeing them giving us so much value here. It's been a great opportunity. So grateful for this. Also being so grateful for the opportunity to work with Spider. It's been amazing. And I'm so curious about I would like to see more people coming from South America. We have so many people coming from different states, and that's amazing. We have people coming from Europe. I'd love to get more people involved in the Latin community, but from Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, that would be awesome. Spain, that's something that I want to work on. And I'd love to see that happening for the next editions. But my question to you guys are you guys thinking about what's gonna happen in the metaverse? Is that something that it's interesting for you? Do you think that's gonna be relevant in the DJ community in the coming years?
That's funny that you mentioned that because Quickie was. Don't make me laugh, motherfucker. Quickie mentioned that about.
You were the last person I thought would answer this
No,
question.
because I told Quickie. He was talking about AI.
I'm curious
in
to
10
hear
years.
what he's gonna say.
He was talking about AI in 10 years and all these things out, and that made me think like, yo, like as DJs, we can't keep being the two turntables and a mixer type of person. You're gonna have to adapt, like we had to adapt with Twitch and IG Live and all this crazy thing when the pandemic happened. But I do feel that as DJs, we should be more open. Now, like there's controllers everywhere. 5 years ago, it was taboo to use a controller. So now I do think that now DJs do need to like just think in a wider range and don't limit yourself to two turntables and into a mixer. Like always try to understand what's the next big thing. Don't try to shut it off because you don't know about it. You're misinformed. So yeah, that's what I think about that.
Anyone else?
Well, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Danny D-Rock from New York. I want to just say I think all the topics that were covered in all the panels were excellent in their own way. Looking back and asking about which ones really stood out, I think each one of them did tie into each other in some manner, and I think that was awesome. I think it was an excellent job by Vice and DJ City and Beatsource for putting this whole thing together. This is my first time here, and I've only recently started attending these conferences. But what I look at and what I really have walked away from with this whole experience is the camaraderie, and the companionship of all these dope minds in this room that are here together. I mean, I've got to meet icons and friends and people that, I've only seen through a screen. And, to be here after all what we've all experienced in the last 2+ years with the world and the unknown, and we're here to all lift each other up. And I think it's a great opportunity that, this was put together. And, I only saw a few of y'all in the gym this morning, but self-care is number one, because if we don't take care of ourselves, I see you. But if we don't take care of ourselves, how are we going to take care of the world that needs us as a community and DJs and making others feel good? So the self-care is definitely very important. And, I thank you guys for all spending your time with me. And I look forward to chatting to a bunch of the rest of you for the rest of the night and the evening. I hope you guys all get home safe as well.
Yeah.
But God bless everyone.
I just wanted to say real quick, he mentioned camaraderie, and I think that's very important. And I was having a talk. I was actually having breakfast this morning with one of the DJs here, and I was telling them it's kind of sad because even though there is camaraderie, there's a lot of DJ friends that I have that aren't here because they may have an alliance or alliances with other companies or other affiliations, and it shouldn't be that way, right? Like, we should all be able to come together on something like this and still be able to communicate, learn, be educated, and just, powwow with each other, regardless of our affiliation with different record pools, companies, whatever. It shouldn't fucking matter, right? We should just come together and enjoy this setting. And it shouldn't be about that. It should just be about the camaraderie. So thank you for bringing that up.
All right, I feel like that was a perfect place to end it. D-Rock, that was like an amazing speech talking about the camaraderie, and I think that is what it's all about, us coming together. We're finally back here in person. I got nothing but love for these R.O.A.D podcasts. Guys, I love listening to their podcast, and I get so much out of it. I really appreciate it. Happy we got to do this. And you guys really should make some noise for yourself and feel good that you invested in yourself to come here and do this, because that says a lot about you and how much you care about everything. So thank you guys so much. And thank Beatsource, DJ City, and this guy,
Make some noise for the road in the 20.
Yeah. DJ Vice.
If I could just close it out with saying the past 2 days filled with top tier panelists, moderators. This was a dream and a vision brought to you for the DJs by DJ City, Beatsource, as well as the Vice team. So make some noise for that crew. Thank you very much. It just brought us all together as a community, which was much needed during this times. And really, I'm hoping that it's giving us new ideas, ways of growth, opportunities, and really looking at us like, you know, as newly inspired DJs stepping out of this room. And I'm really looking forward to what's next with us. So really, yeah, just this 1%er crew we have here. Thank you for being here, DJs. And we're gonna ask all the DJs to come up on stage so we can take a group picture as well with everybody up here and do the money shot.
Pause.
If you want to watch more episodes from R.O.A.D Podcast, click either links on the left or the right. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and get updated on new uploads throughout the week. Peace.